to the National Gallery of Ireland in Dublin. We're delighted to be taking part in St. Patrick's Festival. This is the Courtyard space, and this space was originally outside between two buildings. But during a recent refurbishment, a glass roof was added, and now we have beautiful natural light in this space, which also bounces into the rooms on either side as well. But I want you to have a look at this very, very special sculpture behind me. It's great because it's 3D, so you can actually move around it and you see how the sculpture starts to loop and twist and turn. Can you imagine what it's made of? Can you see the grain of the wood? It's been made of layers of wood, olive ash wood, that have been added together and then sculpted. This is an abstract work of art, and by that I mean it's not really lifelike. It's not very realistic. It doesn't maybe remind you of something in particular. But the great thing about that is it means that we have the freedom to use our imaginations. So what do you think? What does it look like? Could it be a tree? Maybe it's an ear. Or a water slide. Maybe even a racetrack. This is called Magnus Modus, and it's a sculpture that was made in 2017 by Joseph Walsh in his studio in County Cork. We're going to use it today as inspiration. We're going to see if we can bring it to life. We're going to move our bodies, we're going to move our breath as well, just like the sculpture. So before we get started, make sure that you have a flat surface to stand on. Make sure that you take your shoes and your socks off. Make sure that there's no toys or no pets or animals around you, and maybe no furniture as well. We don't want you to slip and slide. So to get started, we're going to move our bodies. We're going to move individual body parts, and we're going to see if we can mimic the sculpture. We'll start with our ankles. So can you make circles with your ankles? You might like to go in one direction. Be careful you don't fall over. If you need to, you can always put your toe on the ground. So maybe making your circles in the opposite direction. How about figure eights? Don't forget your toes. Great, let's try the other side. So we start off with circles. And the opposite direction. And now figure eights. So see, can you loop and twist and turn your foot just like the sculpture? Great. So these movements are great if you want to release energy or if you're just feeling tight and tired. So let's work on our knees now. Feet together, knees together. So let's start to make circles with our knees. So maybe starting off small, then getting bigger. Let's change direction. So maybe opening out and going the other direction. Now let's come up to our hips, turning them, small circles, getting bigger, getting bigger. Now, how about the opposite direction? And figure eights. A lot of us are spending a lot of time at our desks these days, so loosen up. Brilliant. Now, let's come up to our fingers. So turning your fingers in all directions, just like the sculpture. Maybe bringing your wrists into it, changing the direction. Now, how about elbows? And now let's have a bit of fun with it. So twisting, turning, moving, releasing any energy, loosening up, releasing any tiredness, twisting and turning. Looping. Great. Now we're going to start to come to stillness. So slowing everything down now. Starting to feel your feet on the ground. Planted into the ground. Just like the sculpture. So for this one, have a look at how this beautiful sculpture, which is 7 meters tall, is bolted into the ground in a very, very small footprint, and yet it soars up into the sky. It's a real feat of engineering. So let's see if we can do the same with our bodies. So starting, you can either have your feet together or slightly far apart. You're going to reach down through your fingertips. So can you feel the connection of your feet on the ground? Strong and solid, just like the sculpture. Now start to squeeze your knees, squeeze your thighs, make your legs really straight and strong. Draw your belly button in a bit. Hands by your side, reach down through your fingertips. See, can you lift up and lengthen through the sides of your body? Sometimes we spend a lot of time like this, so can you open up your chest? Lots of oxygen coming into our chest as we breathe. Shoulders back and down. We spend a lot of time with our heads down, looking at our phones and our tablets, so can you bring your chin up? Imagine a golden thread rising up to the center of your head, all the way up to the sky. So you're straight, you're strong, like the sculpture, like a mountain. Now you might like to, for a moment, maybe start to bring the weight of your body forwards into your toes. See, can you feel all 10 toes? Be careful that you don't fall over. And now come back to center. This time raise your toes up in the air. So now you're leaning back onto your heels. How does that feel? Drop your toes. Now, how about if we lean to one center? And come back. And let's lean to the other side. Noticing what it feels like to be off balance and come back. So now with that, make sure that you can feel the weight of your body in your toes, in your heels, and all over your foot. Straight and strong like a mountain. You might even like to close your eyes as well for this. See if you can feel calm and peace and stillness. Maybe there's some sounds around you. What do you hear? Not letting them worry you, just letting them float away. Just like the sculpture, you're connected to the ground, you're strong, you're solid, you're standing up tall. And now gently blinking your eyes open. So we started to notice our breath there. So let's see if we can do a nice calming meditation where we focus on our breath, and that'll help us to feel calm. So we start off, we're going to hold your finger underneath your nose. You can do this either sitting down or lying down if you like. As you breathe in and out, can you feel your breath touching your fingers? It might be very subtle. What's the temperature like? As you breathe in, is it cold or is it warm? Now let's see if we can focus on our mouth. So for this, you might like to breathe on your hand. So breathe in through your nose. You might like to take a nice deep breath. And breathe out onto your hand. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do you feel the temperature on your hand? Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, so now we're going to see if we can notice the breath in our bodies, in our rib cage and our lungs. So you might like to place your hands on your rib cage, and let's just take a moment to breathe in and breathe out normally. Do you notice any movement? Maybe we could take some deep breaths in and out and see how that feels. So breathe in and feel your rib cage and your lungs expanding. Breathe out. Feel your hands dropping down. So big deep breath in. And breathe out. See if you can slow your breath right down. You can close your eyes if you like as well. Now let's come a bit further down, placing your hands on your tummy this time. So just breathing normally, see how that feels. Now how about taking some deep breaths in? So breathing in all the way down into your belly. And then breathing out. Deep breath in. And breathe out. Do you notice as you're breathing, your hands start to rise and fall? So let's try that again. Big deep breath in. See if you can slow it down as well. Sometimes our minds can be very busy as well. We can have lots of thoughts going around. Sometimes they can be positive thoughts, or sometimes they're things that we're worrying about. So rather than focusing on them at the moment, see if you can focus on your breath in your belly. Deep breath in and breathe out. Maybe coming back this time now to our rib cage. Deep breath in and breathe out. Feel your hands rise and fall. And just let it go. So just coming back to your normal breath, whatever it feels like. So now we're going to do something different. This time we're going to use our hands to help us to breathe. So for this one we're going to trace with our fingers. So when our finger comes up, we're going to breathe in. When it comes down, we're going to breathe out. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so would you like to try that one with me? So we're going to have to really slow down. So we're going to start off, big deep breath, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Would you like to try that on your own this time? So again, you can always use one of your parents' hands if you like, if their hands are bigger. So let's start off. Breathe in. Breathe out. 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 Now, let's do it on our own. How did you find that? Hopefully you're feeling nice and calm. Hopefully you're feeling peaceful. So maybe now we can actually use the sculpture as well for the same thing. So what we can do is we'll breathe out as we see the sculpture going up into the air. We'll breathe out when we see it unraveling, coming back down again. So you might like to do that one with me. So starting at the bottom, breathing in, breathing out. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can trace it with your finger or maybe trace it with your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for joining us today from everybody at the National Gallery of Ireland in Dublin.